what might be a scary lane a lot of the time is suddenly turning into a potential kill one for yourselves. So I think Omni might be a decent pick for him here.
Yeah, what they changed with Omni, was it just it was either Purification or Heavenly Grace dropped by 2 seconds, right?
Yeah, it's the Heavenly Grace, and they gave him the hammer as well as his Ag Shard, which
That's right.
I think is really strong, but I'm not sure how I feel about Omni as a core just yet. But probably going to be irrelevant as they pick up the Shadow Demon.
Turn to pick.
Little, I don't know if you want to call it nerfs or buffs, but they made it so that assuming you've got multiple uses of the Demonic Purge, as soon as you use the second one, the first one immediately expires and deals all the damage that had been stored up, I guess, until then. You can't dispel shadow poisons anymore, and you can also use the Demonic Purge onto allies to heal them and give a movement speed boost, I want to say. There's too many changes. I'm looking this up constantly.
Yeah, at least that's the thing. We're able to go back and forth, see the changes. One thing about the mag, though, I mean, there weren't many. The empowered duration got rescaled. It's just now a flat 40. So it was 38 and then buffed up by 4 seconds each level. So max out was 50. So I guess max out dropped by 10 seconds. But the rest of his, he just got some talent changes. That scepter reworked. We got the horn toss as well for the shard. But honestly, kind of surprised there wasn't maybe a little bit more of a rescaling with the mag and power, at least damage. But they get rid of the at least the duration nerfed a little bit.
When there were those leaks going on, like before the patch was officially released, I think people were looking at like the Brazilian website or something like that. Magnus was one of the first ones available, and before we knew what Ag Shards were, we saw the Horn Toss, and I'm like, oh, so all heroes are just getting another ability now? And Horn Toss like tosses someone behind you. That's just like, man, this is the easiest laning tool of all time. Toss someone behind you, skewer them under the tower, they're dead. But turns out you can only get the shards at 20 minutes and beyond, so it's not going to be super impactful for that. But Motivate, they're just not looking to innovate all that much. They're just like, look, this worked damn well in the past patch. Let's try and make it work for us again. The Empower onto the PA, who's also going to have the Corrosive Haze, and probably by that point a Desolator as well. So nothing too different, just looking for those key timings.
Well, usually when we see that slaughter, a lot of time teams are banning out that Phantom Assassin. Honestly, PA didn't really get nerfed. Honestly, you could argue some of the talents hit a little bit. I mean, that Phantom Strike cast range dropped down from 350 to 300. The level 25 talent was 100% critical damage. It's now 7+ % for the coup de grace.
I argue that that's a bit better now, though. Now it felt like the coup de grace was basically chosen when you were losing heavily and you had a rapier and you just needed a way to pop someone, and that extra 100% damage was probably going to be enough. Now it's a lot more 50-50. I feel like there's going to be situations where you want to go the daggers just for that, spread of damage, take attention away from, I don't know, someone that might be trying to flank in from the side. Whereas the extra coup de grace damage is just like, if you are the man, if you're looking to man fight against the enemy carry, that's just what you need to try and get a few more of those lucky procs off. But we saw in the series yesterday how effective Shadow Demon is at dealing with the PA, especially once you finish up the Ags on the SD.
Void Incarnate.
Alright, well, Motivate gonna be the ones to pick up the Void Spirit here in this last pick. So they got the flexibility, I mean, with being able to play it in some multiple roles. What are we feeling? Is it a Mag 5, Lena 4?
I think so.
Yeah. Mag 5, Lena 4,
Lena 4, Slaughter 3, Void 2, PA 1.
Well, this is a matchup that I've been a big fan versus the Storm. That Yule's catch is incredibly strong. We've even seen, honestly, I think the Storm matchup in the lane, you're a little bit better, but I've been surprised at how Voids have been actually able to fare, and even a Dragon Knight's getting picked up as well. They don't have the greatest catch at the moment here from Fnatic. The instant jump with that dragon tail no cast animation if you're not in the Elder Dragon form, so a great way to be able to catch out that Void Spirit, and being in the offlane actually here from Fnatic. So this is something we had not seen previously, but with the new patch we're going to get a bit of a treat. Motivate being the filthy buggers they are, they're one game away from elimination, so they're like, all right, you know what, we're going to go back to what works. We'll pick up the Slaughter, the Mag, and the PA. A hell of a combo, but Fnatic, they got some new heroes, the Nyx and the DK.
I think Motivate essentially have exactly what they want, but Fnatic's just like, look, Ice Frog's given us a lot to play with this patch. Let's try and find something that's just going to absolutely dumpster this past. And the thing is, towards the end of the previous patch, things were starting to get a little bit predictable. You know exactly what their timings are, you know exactly when they're going to make rotations, you know exactly where they're going to be farming. So I feel like Fnatic feels that they're going to be able to exploit that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I mean, at least, with the second draft, I know it's a little bit more difficult to be able to read with not having, as many games to be able to compare. But how are we feeling going into this? Do we think Motivate are going to be able to force a game 3, or is this just a 2-0 sweep here for Fnatic?
I'm sure they're feeling confident about it. Um, it's a 5 Nyx assassin as well, so not even a position 4. Jabs is going to be playing the SD. Uh, I'm a little worried about how effective DJ is going to be in that lane towards the top side. Like, he's against a Lina and a Slardar. You don't really want to get close to either of those. Um, how do I feel? Do I feel like they're going to be able to create enough havoc? Like, I'm just thinking of what are some of the shards and the new ags for some of these heroes on Fnatic side. You've got the fiery breath on the DK that's just gonna cut off a big section of the map. It does decent damage, like it's like 80 damage per second or something
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah, 80.
What's Storm Spirit got? Did he get any shard or anything like that? Don't think he did.
Electric Rave, Grand Storm Spirit,
Oh,
and
the
allied
Rave, yes.
heroes. The Overload Chargers.
Charges.
Chargers. This is yeah, an interesting one. I mean, we don't see the Nyx much, but I think it's nice at least they have this duo with the Shadow Demon Nyx where you can set up for the Impale, which at least is, it's very, very similar where we see the Shadow Demon with like a Leshrac, because you have an E setup for a skill shot ability, so at least it'll make it a little bit more easier for DJ to be able to play. And they do have a break for this Phantom Assassin as well throughout some stage of the game, and it's also that the
2 breaks.
information.
30
Who's
They'll
got?
have
Oh
the,
yeah, the Shadow Demon. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a
Shadow
second, I'm
Demon
like,
and the Nyx.
who's this extra one that I'm missing? I'm just overcomplicating things a little bit too much. But yeah, I mean, it's also the fact that, DJ is going to have a very good way to be able to scout out, because we know Motivate, this is a pretty kind of, similar draft to what we were seeing last patch. They're going to try and play around the triangle, make a lot of stacks with the Phantom Assassin. Once he's able to come online, doesn't really need that Battle Fury, of course, with the mag, but it's still going to be a bit slower, really utilizing the Empower.
The battle begins.
DJ is going to poke his face forward, but when he sees the 3 heroes, he's like, all right, this is probably a little bit too much. And you can see he's kind of resigned himself to the fact that he's going to be taking a ton of harass in this lane, getting the 3 sets of tangos for himself, just wanting to be able to create a little bit of nuisance to make sure that Troll's going to get a good amount of farm. And I mean, if the past few games that Ravens played is anything to go by, I don't think we need to be all that worried.
And they're
Just going to go into the
actually
Battle Fury as well.
they're holding 3 down bot at the moment here for Motivate, so maybe hoping Death is able to find a setup, but no, he's just gonna tip it top on Boombell. So want to make sure that they can at least hold Savage through that first, but fortunately gets the range creep deny. This is, the Lina has been a hero who has been such a hotly contested position for throughout the meta, and we'll see how you're going to be able to do up against a Nyx Assassin. I mean, just the extra range and the right clicks can be such a nuisance. Being able to trade with that LSA as well. DJ does start with the mana burn, so it's going to be a bit annoying here for Q if you can just burn all that mana and really then just have Lina have to rely on the right clicks. But Raven's going to do pretty well versus the Slardar, although if he doesn't have the help of the support here, this double stun combo is going to do a lot of harassment.
I mean, that's the other positive thing. DJ is going to be able to just funnel in some of his regen through to Raven as well. He's been able to get the pull off, so nicely done there. And yeah, like you mentioned, he's just going to be continuously chasing down. Q got off the Light Strike array just before the mana burn hit, so he's going to get full value out of his mana pool. Top side, a little bit of aggression going on. Jabs and Boombell were chat-willing each other. Jabs just a little bit slow to block that small camp with his body. So they're going to be able to pull that through. I feel like one of the reasons they picked this DK is that you're really not that worried about the PA in lane. You've always got more sustain. You're just going to be able to trade nice and easily with her. So I want to say that Jabs' job is, when he gets a little bit of spare time, is just to obviously stack some camps so that the Troll Warlord's going to be able to build those up, but also prevent Boombell from doing the same. Lina wants to be putting a lot more harass in onto the troll as opposed to getting these stacks up.
Are you worried that they go for more of a passive hero in the lane like the Dragon Knight as well?
Skewer.
There we go. They're going to drag him under the tower. And now with the Dagger Slow as well, MG.Trust is going to eat a lot of damage here as they're going to try and body block him off so he can't get the retreat. Force the TP away. It is back to the tier 1 tower. We'll have to see that sustain not start to play through. But yeah, like I was trying to lead into, do you think this Dragon Knight is going to be a little bit too passive for the lane? Because Phantom Assassin's not the strongest laning stage hero. Your Mag as a 5 support's not the strongest either. So is this where, you know, the DK is not really going to pressure the PA enough in the lane, or?
I think he's going to be fine enough, honestly, and it's just about getting levels, right? Just sustaining, kind of playing a style similar to the Timbersaw, right? There's the tower threat as soon as you hit up onto that level 6. So I think he's fine just to be able to trade somewhat evenly with the PA, provided that Jabs is also doing his job in preventing the stacks from being built up from Motivate.
Yeah, that is the big factor though about the DK, that it does give you, once you have 6, you've got tower taking potential, so being able to go top to mid, just getting the map control, and it's really then going to be able to open up the opportunity you have to really start making these movements, because again, you know, you've got this Mag lineup where you're going to play a lot more passive, really trying to utilize that Empower, get the full usage out of it. So, you know, once MG.Trust is able to get that 6, yes, he might not pressure as much, but, you know, when he's got the ultimate, then the tower aggression will really start to be a big kind of worry here for Motivate. But we do have the rotations.
It's more of a retreat coming here from Jabs. He's trying to get away. Fearless could potentially make the play for him, but just a little bit low on mana.
How's this mid lane been going? I haven't watched too much. I mean, unfortunately, Moon doesn't get the rune there, but looks like, what is he? 22-4 compared to the 15-3. So doing a little bit better right now in the last hit department.
He's doing just fine, and Raven as well. Despite the fact that DJ's been spending a lot of his time pulling, he hasn't copped too much harass. He's still got the 1 tango left. DJ, he's been just throwing his body in the way. He's used all of his 7 tangos that he started with.
They're really taking away the factor of Q being able to utilize any abilities as well. Just a constant mana burn, chipping him down. But mid lane though, Moon drags back Fearless. Jabs' TP though looks like just trying to refill the bottle, not really going for an opportunity to kill.
Yeah, and he actually even gives the bottle over to Jabs so that he can just stay in lane, make sure he's not losing too much of that experience. So nice team play coming through there from Fnatic.
It's the min-max coming through, making sure you're able to get as much as possible, and might be able to actually put a little bit of pressure on. DJ's even wrapping over as well. Nice dodge with the dissimulate. Fearless going to be able to get under any threat, and that's also the fact that DJ was able to steal away the bounty on the high ground. So now Fearless doesn't have a refill in the bounty, and they're probably going to try and look to shove the lane in because they know that he doesn't have any sustain, and you know, he's either going to be forced back to the base, or if he wants to stay, he's going to be under trouble. Well, there we go. The support duo Banishment sets up for the Impale, and bye Void Spirit. I love that play. Like, that is flawless from Fnatic. You see the emphasis from the supports. The wrap through from Nyx steals the bounty, so it means the Void Spirit has to, you know, start. You either stay in the lane and you die because the emphasis they had. They've got a catapult, so they want to shove the wave in and then dive that attempt. And if he stays, well, he dies, and if he leaves, then he loses a full wave of experience and a lot of damage on the tower.
Trouble as well. They're starting to close in here on both of these supports. They might have to settle for the Lina if they've got the damage to finish her off, that is.
Q gets out the LSA, but he runs into it on the Nyx assassin, gets that spy. Carapace and Jabs, he's got 2 points in the poison, so that's going to be the damage required with that extra level. And 2 kills here from Fnatic, and I highlighted this support duo, the Shadow Demon and the Nyx assassin. You know, if you do start making movements together, that Banishment setting up for the Impale can be a very nice way to enable some kills.
Yeah, especially considering Jabs, you know, he yoinked the first blood, he yoinked the second kill as well. It's enabled him to finish up that arcane boot, so he's able to make a lot more rotations than you might expect from a Shadow Demon this early on.
Do you reckon he could go, what was it, 11-1-9 or something like we saw yesterday? I
don't think he's quite on Polison's level just yet. The Polison Undying is a thing of beauty.
Oh, it's a masterclass to say the least. I was still like, what? That game yesterday, I'm like, how is this Undying actually like godlike? I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's awesome. and just spending his time really effectively, you know, making these rotations through, forcing Fearless back a little bit. We've already got 3 stacks up here due to the Shadow Demon. He even got one as he was heading towards bottling that 5-minute rune. So just really effective map maneuverment here for Jabs. Just keeping on making plays here onto Fearless. Boombell, he was trying to stick nearby, but his job is to start making these stacks. He's only been able to make one.
Let's look at the stun though. He's got an Astral Step, so Fearless is fine, but almost got in range of that Spike Carapace. Was a nice attempt, but well, they could be in trouble now because MG.Trust is still being able to keep that catapult alive, and now with the Elder Dragon form, he's also got the Meteor hammer coming out in the Korra. Are you a fan of the Meteor getting picked up?
On the DK?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if your main priority is just tower taking, potentially, it's alright. It's the 8-minute mark. He's, like we were saying before, doing things that a Timbersaw typically does. And, well, Timbersaws can build Meteor Hammer as well, so he's just fulfilling the roleplay.
Oh, that is a incredibly early tower that's going to get claimed here, and you know it's also pretty similar where we saw last game. Moon getting a lot of usage out of the early X's and finding these objectives, and it's kind of very similar how the DK wants to play it. If you're able to get the first couple of towers early with that Elder Dragon form, it just can then allow you to use the next ones afterwards as maybe more of like a farming way to be able to keep back up in the farm and find some stacks if you even get that level 12. But you see Motivate, I mean, you've just got Savage trying to farm up the ancient stack at the moment with the Empower. I mean, it's only level 2 unfortunately, but still the beautiful thing about the Phantom Assassin is that you can utilize the blow. But mid lane, they've got the setup though. Zip in, pull back. Moon is going to be able to get involved. Jab's actually still the one to find that, so he's on a killing spree.
Savage, he should be able to take this one relatively soon. Even gets the stack off for himself, so really nicely done there. But he's starting to run low on that Empower. Actually, it's run out completely, so he's going to need Boombell to get him back up to full health. It's the big priority for him that he takes it before Fnatic do know that this is the area that he's farming in. And he's going for a bit more of that aggressive build as well, not wanting to go for the Battle Fury to double up on the cleave that some carries do. I feel like Raven's done it in the past. He's just going into that Desolator immediately to enable that strategy.
DJ, I get punished here. Boombell is going to skewer him down into the river, but Death has got that movement speed to be able to catch up, so he was trying to get some vision down and de-ward around the triangle just to enable Fnatic to eventually make this movement in the jungle. But even though they got that tier 1 tower very early top, you still see Savage is doing well in the farm. This is the factor that they've had some stacks available for him, and also of course the Mag, who does need some experience though. There's about 4 3/4. They can always drop the tome for him, and actually Raven coming around mid though, keeping Moon alive. And now throughout the river, Death got that movement speed still. He's going to be able to scurry himself away, but we got to fight by the bounties down bot too. Jabs, he might actually give away this streak. Banishment to the TP out. Can you get a crit? Savage won't be able to.
And here we go. It's the level 6 picked up by Jabs. So he's grabbed the tome, immediately going to head straight back out and look to make a beeline for that PA as quickly as possible.
Azeroth
Lucked out a little bit.
Oh, they missed the remnant. Really needed that to set up for Q. He's even going to commit another ulti, but I mean, he's got the Arcane, so it mattered too much. You do see what the DK is doing. That's so much damage on the tier 2 already at this stage in the game. He might be in a bit of a trouble though. Zip on the back. Moon's going to try and disrupt the Lina, but she's still able to get the Laguna Blade off, so that Pierce is enough here. A lot of damage early, but they're still going to try and take the fight here for Fnatic. With the rest of the heroes coming over, they really want to get involved. Death's in trouble. The Purge going to stop the retreat. Fearless helping out with the Remnant, but it's just not going to be enough here. As Jabs on the dominating spree. Fearless still sticks around, but having a charge in the Astral Step available will make it very difficult for Fnatic to be able to continue on with that attempt. So we see a 1-for-1. Both the offlane is going to end up falling. Raven, with his farm at the moment though, we see he's going for that Battle Fury. He's got the Ring of Health, the Broadsword completed too.
Savage has been able to grab that bottom tier 1 tower, so not wasting the time that's being created by his team. I mentioned before, he got quite lucky being able to pick up that Possessed Mask, not put too much more into the regen, needing to take those Ancients. We've got another contest happening towards the mid lane, wanting to take full advantage of this siege creep. Will they look to tank it up with any of the heroes? I was thinking maybe Masaros might put himself onto the front lines, but no, it's just going to get denied out, and they're going to be very happy on Motivate's side that that's been able to happen. Few more new neutral items coming out as well. The Fairy's Trinket, that extra spell damage and mana cost reduction, particularly for a Lina. As support Lina, that's going to be really impactful with the Laguna Blade.
We even see the mask as well for Savage. We saw that last game, but this is so nice for the Phantom Assassin. Just your primary attribute, even just the 7% heal as well. But the Void Spirit's actually going to end up dying mid here. So with the help of DJ and a couple extra Fnatic heroes inside the river, they're going to be able to bring down the Void.
I mean, Void having 5% mana cost reduction. Sorry, the Storm Spirit is always pretty handy.
Oh god, yeah, that's
Dire's top tower is
And
under
Raven,
really nice.
when he starts to take some of these stacks, there's not too many, honestly. Storm's been the one clearing most of them, but he's got the Scuffed Blade Mail on himself, so he's going to be able to quickly take them down as well.
Fnatic still looking to try and posture pretty aggressively here. This tier 2's almost down. Do they want to smoke and head to top? And Savage just has the Desolator completed, so if he does want to get involved, but Moon, you know, posturing down to the southern side, so in the area where Motivate need to come through if they want to try and link to the top side of the map here, and might have an engagement break out. Fnatic and Motivate holding the area. Death though, stacking up the poison. They're going to be careful if it keeps ticking him through. He's got that hood at least for some absorption, but going to try and go with the back. Savage instantly deals with the support, and now they're going to be able to find a secondary target as well. As with that minus armor, they're going to go to work. Nyx will pay the price as Fnatic. They end up losing 2.
Yeah, just a little bit too eager. I'm surprised they didn't finish off the tier 2 tower, considering it was, what, 13 minutes, and it's down to about a tenth of its HP pool. Would have given them a lot more map control. Even if they did end up picking someone off, they had the potential for the buybacks to come out super early on. It's not going to cost them all too much, but yeah, just taking that one little step too far. Good vision being provided by, I believe it was Boombell, so that Savage is able to just jump on in, get the lucky crit with that Desolator onto Jabs, get his kill streak over into his pocket, and now he's just closer and closer to finishing up that BKB.
Yeah, and this is... Are you a bit worried that Fnatic... I mean, they've gotten 2 towers, but haven't made any aggressive movements in the triangle, because Savage has been free farming. So do you want to see them continuing... Oh my lord. Unfortunate that there was already a sentry pre-dropped here from Motivate, and man, Savage makes him pay. And well, if he gets another crit, Rune's got to be a bit careful there, but he's going to be able to zip away. So I was going to ask, are you worried that Fnatic haven't pressured too much around the triangle camp from Motivate?
I mean, I feel like they've already taken the majority of the farm that was there to be had, right?
Yep.
Like, now, when they take the tier 2 tower top, that's why I was wanting them to prioritize it so much. You feel a lot more scared about venturing into your own jungle, where you have to play in your own triangle. You have to play on the enemy side of the map. And so I feel like that was the point where they might try and put a little bit more pressure on, but yeah, just these micro decisions, I like to call them, from about a couple of minutes ago, that are just influencing the farm that Savage is still able to get.
Radiant are scanning.
By the that 15-min timing, and Radiant, they're still coming over.
I'm over here.
Really wanting to continue trying to put some pressure top and find that tier 2 tower as MG.Trust. He's got the Elder Dragon Form for a little bit longer. Savage is going to show up as well. He's got 2 components of the BKB. A little bit away from the extra one, however, so won't have this for the fight. But now down to the southern side, they found Boombell. They bring down the mag. That RP threat throughout the fight is going to be pretty big, and it's going to whiff the RP, but it still looks like Jabs is falling pretty low. They get the banishment set up, and now Void Spirit's going to pay the price as well. Fnatic, with these 2 early pickups, they're going to be able to chase for more as the route sets up. They even get the Storm Top of Death as well. It's going to have the sprint available in a couple seconds, but Raven drags him back, sets up for the meteor. Oh, that crush going to prevent it, but it doesn't matter. Raven with the ultimate has the attack speed now with the backline stab as well. DJ yoinks that one away. 4 down for Motivate. They lose that tier 2 tower. At least the Phantom Assassin keeps his life. Savage doesn't have the Empower, so not really farming as efficiently as what he would hope. Might just melt through Jabs though if he still sticks. Just needs the vision though. Savage, can he find it? He sees him now, needs a crit.
Can he find
Dire's top
it?
tower is under attack.
He doesn't need no crit. He's a PA.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Shreds him through, and nice little cheeky kill, and it's just getting him closer towards the BKB. Still holding that top of the net worth as least is the Savage PA.
Yeah, those 2 tower denies go in the way of Motivate, so they get that little bit of extra gold boosted into their coffers, which is always going to be nice. Even once he finishes this BKB, though, you've still got the threat of the Shadow Demon just being able to completely take you out of it through the use of the Demonic Purge.
Dire's middle tower
Yeah,
is
Shadow
under
Demon
attack.
is going to be such an important factor here for Motivate to be able to deal with the ways to control the Phantom Assassin as this game goes on. And it's even so annoying versus the Void Spirit as well. I mean, if you more than likely will see him use that Yours pretty aggressively to set up for the Aether Remnant, but you know the Purge is going to take away that defensive factor that he will have. And well, there we
Trying to
go.
go onto the storm.
Aggressive use, nicely played from Nyx. He's going to eat the Remnant now. They're going to try and deal with the back. Instantly, Savage
Nicely
finding
played by
the
DJ.
Shadow Demon, but he's able to get the banishment off now. They're going to try and look to turn with the Dragon Tail. They've got the stun like, oh, the timing. Savage, he just gets the Blink Strike away. They're still looking to hunt though. Raven down to about half HP. Do they want to continue walking up into the higher ground? They still have a nice ward scouting out everyone in Radiant at the moment. They're sticking around. Moon showing. Let's see if they want to jump again.
And they're fine with waiting that little bit further on Motivate. RP's just come back up online, so they're keen to try and make a play now.
They saw the DK top. Oh, nice. Spike Carapace connects on top of Q, but it's not going to matter. They melt through the Phantom Assassin. Now the rest of Motivate, they need to retreat, but Q, oh, he's just pretty much ran on top of Raven here. He's got the Yours, but it's not going to matter. Moon's hunting the back. He's out of mana though. They find the Yours, the LSA as well. Laguna's going to do a lot of work, but it looks like where's the extra targets coming out? It's Fearless. It's Yashul. And that was a lot of damage on the Storm, but there just wasn't the follow-up. The fact that they found that Phantom Assassin to start there, and you know, Fnatic grouping up as a team, and they, oh, what more do you want? A DD in front of the Roche Pit. This, you know, this is something that they didn't actually deal with in the patch, surprisingly. I mean, you know, not even that DD in front of Roche, but also just the power runes of 4 minutes as well.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting to see something a little bit different there. Man, that BKB just freshly picked up. They had the RP nice and ready, but Savage, you got to use it. You know, that's that's the big difference between that team fight. I think if he gets that off, he doesn't get 100-0 burst. He doesn't get the Carapace hit on him by DJ, and that is a completely different fight.
And now Fnatic having the extra life advantage. I mean, if Dire, they're gonna actually smoke up here and try and head the top where Moon is positioned at the moment. He goes for this extra wave. He should be able to clear it pretty fast, but Dire, can they punish Fearless? Got the setup. The creep might eat the Remnant though. Oh, it's not going to. Death with the Blink for Fearless as well. Can they chain lock him down? Boom Bell will show up with the RP. So that's a beautiful pick off for them. Bloodstone still wasn't picked up for the Storm Spirit, and they gave the Aegis to the Troll Warlord there, but this might give Radiant an opportunity to be able to quickly get into the triangle and drop some vision down. They've already got one on the back, which does see the Lina. And well, Q. Uh-oh, you're continuing to walk up pretty aggressively here. They know the Storm's down. Fnatic, can they fight though? They've got the vision. Yours controls up DJ, but the Dragon Tail, nice two-man stuns. Finds Savage well, but on top of the backline. That's a perfect target to bring down. Shadow Demon, so important. Boom Bell with the skewer stops MG.Trust from being able to treat. He's going to attempt the TP, but that's a bit ambitious in the middle of the fight. And then when you don't kill the Phantom Assassin, we see that damage start to skyrocket, as he doesn't even need to commit the BKB. I love the target prioritization coming through. They instantly find the Shadow Demon, control the Nyx as well, and it just allows, you know, Savage and also the Void Spirit to have a fight.
And Boom Bell not even fulfilling his traditional role. He's normally very happy to sacrifice himself for the rest of the team, but he was there for all of those kills. So a lot of assist goal going his way. He's got the Philosopher's Stone as well, so about halfway towards his Blink Dagger. Same sort of thing with the Shadow Demon though. He's got the Philosopher's Stone, and he's building in towards that Axe. So it's going to be quite handy for them to grab. Are they going to be able to catch Fearless out here? That's the question.
Haste
just gets out.
Yeah, a bit too difficult for them to be able to catch, but well, we're still seeing this one. I mean, it's neck and neck at the moment, even though Fnatic do have that extra life to be able to utilize, and you know, Raven is doing a relatively good job with being able to keep up in the farm here against the Phantom Assassin. He's just a little bit behind in net worth by about $1,000, but you know, he's got the Battle Fury, he's got the Sunjin Yasha, and he's going for the MKB is that next item, so it's going to be a way to go through the evasion.
And I feel like that's really important against a lot of the lockdown that you've got now with Motivate's lineup. They've got, of course, the Mag, Lina, you've got the Taunt from the Void Spirit and the Slaughter. Lots of ways to stun, taunt, do whatever else to you. Satanic doesn't provide that status resistance anymore, so the Sanjin Yash are going to be coming really handy.
They've still got the Aegis for another 2 minutes. It looks like they're trying to link down to Raven, who wants to shove this lane out. They actually want to go on the triangle. They draw the line, but this could be a decent spot for Dire. They got the RP back up in the choke point, but the scan connects. Well aware, Radiant, they want to be the ones to hold the higher ground, but now MG.Trust blink forward. They find the Mag, who's posturing pretty aggressively, but they find the Sun.
Nice RP.
Onto 2, but he can't get the skewer away. Savage going to try and commit forward with the BKB, but once again, the Banishment's going to give them protection out of the break as well. They're going to be careful. PA blurred up. It's going to get the strike on the high. Comes the bash coming through as well. The Storm! Crit it down! Savage, nice start to the fight. The buyback coming through for the Mag as well, but they can't continue for more. Fnatic, they need to retreat up on the high ground, but it looks like Motivate is going to give them the opportunity. Death with wing forward, find the catch. He could be in trouble here if Raven can get on top of him. Still doesn't want to commit too heavy. He's got that Aegis. Can they deal with the rest of Fnatic though? Yours sets up for the drag back here. Phil is going to be able to catch out the Nyx Assassin. So we just see the I'm not even done just yet as Death has got the follow-up. Jab's going to end up falling as well. Killing spree for Savage. That's 4 down for Fnatic. And man, that fight, I mean, you drop the RP instantly. You see that it controlled up a little bit to start there on some key heroes. I was a bit worried because they didn't find the Shadow Demon to start though. That RP, the Banishment save, but so I should say the purge on the Phantom Assassin, then the Banishment save, but it didn't matter. Motivate just had that higher ground. They dragged it back up, were able to find some key targets towards the later stage, and good fight for them.
I suppose that's one of the advantages of the PA. You know, they had good positioning from the supports, allowing her to blink back onto the safety of their high ground. All the vision was on Motivate's side. So some good team play coming through there, and it just goes to show like who's going on who. Boombell being able to punish those two, jumping right in on top of his head with the reverse polarity, and it's the two main cores on Fnatic's side.
And I want to highlight the item here from Q. Not a lot of time we see the Lina going for a first item Euro Scepter. Usually it's that the Aether Lens, at least support based, but it is such an incredible game for the Euros. If Troll pops that Battle Trance, without BKB, you just kite him, even protecting yourself. The defensive factor, not as much this game because of the potential purge from the Shadow Demon. So, you've got a factor to deal with the Troll. Another way is that you're setting up for the LSA is one of the best ways to catch out the Storm Spirit, because that Zip has a bit of a cast animation, and that was a big factor in that last fight. Q, he got the stun, Savage was able to get on top of him, get a lucky bash, and that was all they needed for the Storm, so he's going to have to be a little bit more wary of how he takes these fights.
That's all well and good, Ares, but I think you're forgetting one big thing. Where are the shards? It is past the 20-minute mark, and I'm seeing none queued up. I'm very disappointed in both of these teams because we've got some pretty saucy ones that could potentially be picked up, like the Shadow Demon heal, the constant dispel is going to be really nice for them as well. But of course, just picking up that Aghanim Scepter is the priority.
I mean, it's going to be a pretty good Ags game. We've already brought up the fact on how the Shadow Demon's going to have an impact, and that Philosopher's Stone's really going to enable him to find some of the items. And oh, Dire looking to smoke up though, controlling the triangle by the bounty timing.
It's going to take them a lot longer if they keep having these losing team fights on Fnatic. It's just little things, little tiny positionings, like a couple of people getting caught in a pre-Blink Dagger RP. He's getting pretty damn close as well, only 400 gold away now from finishing up that blink. He has used the buyback, so no threat of that being expended anymore to try and slow him down even further.
I've been a big fan of how Motivated being continuously controlling the triangle, just exactly where Savage wants to be, utilizing the Ancients, mass clearing that one out, and with how they've positioned with their Observer Ward, you see one kind of on the higher ground, scouting out the stairs, infiltrating up. You got one by mid as well, which is giving you the secondary route to really come through and wrap onto the higher ground by the triangle. So just the defensive factor, because they lost tier 1 mid and top so early, so they really just got suffocated in that triangle, but it didn't matter. You just gave all the farm to PA, and they're still continuing to hold that side. So really been impressed with how they've been able to set up, and this has at least enabled them to be able to have a net worth lead now. The fact that Savage is mass farming, and the rest of the cores are finding the items as well. I mean, the Void Spirit's got the Aghanims now.
Void Spirit's got the Aghanims, and you would think that after just picking up that Ethereal Blade, that Savage would be like, right guys, time to go. Good shot calling through from Boombell. Just, he was playing so scared underneath this bottom tier 1 tower, thinking, there's a creep wave right there. Am I going to die if I go for it? Oh, he spent about 20 seconds umming and ahhing. Eventually, when no one shows up, he's finally able to finish it, and that's his Blink Dagger coming through. So, I think, oh, is this a little bit too keen, though?
100%
RP.
Boombo. I mean, he gets the RP. Savage coming over as well. They get the Baspin up with the Bishop Blade's already hard on the crit. Bye-bye, Storm. He's just baiting Boombo the positioning. Thought it was too aggressive, but they melt through 2 heroes. And now, you know, this was a big timing for Fnatic because Raven just picked up the MKB, but you know, now that's going to be them losing the tier 1 tower mid. Unfortunately, Roche is still, it's not going to be up in 2 minutes. Until then, I should say. So they won't have an opportunity to be able to take that tier 1, then go back to Roche. But, you know, it's at least now continuing to delay this.
And with the build that they've gone as well, Q feels somewhat safe to just continue pushing down on this bottom side. You know, you've got a couple of heroes making sure that the pincer move is going to happen, coming through from the left. Storm Spirit's dead, Nyx Assassin's dead. There's no way they're just walking up to you with the item builds that they've gone. Masaros did quite recently pick up the Blink Dagger though, so always going to be pretty scary, but he's just prioritizing fixing up that mid lane as opposed to the bottom one, particularly as that Roche, like you mentioned, is about to become a factor in a minute and a half.
But the big thing is you know, getting that tier 1 tower now gives you a lot more map control and kind of, you know, because you know that next Roche fight, and also allowing you then to ward the triangle, which does just get taken away from DJ. So nice awareness that, you know, Dire more than likely trying to be able to control that area just before this potential Roche fight does end up breaking out. And now they've got an immense amount of vision of the area. So now it's Fnatic's turn.
Smoke coming through from Motivate. I was wondering, they've been grouping up for the past 30 seconds or so, and I'm thinking, is this a little bit too keen? Because the past 2 team fights that they've won, it's because they had the RP onto Boombell every single time, but it's still 30 seconds away. So it's these single target pickoffs that they're going for. They draw the circle around Moon. He's going to show in lane. Are they going to be able to catch him out quickly enough? Fearless is going to
Needs to
zip
TP
forward.
pretty quick. Fearless might be able to find him. He's already used that Aether Remnant. Unfortunate they won't be able to.
Just able to get away. They don't have their courier in the Roche pit, so a little fortunate perhaps that it's a longish respawn time. Could have been Fnatic taking it if it was you know, immediate.
Well, this is at least giving them an opportunity to try and shove in the lanes. Raven's dealing with top, bot's in a good spot at the moment. It's going to be, it looks like just on Radiant's side, so this is the next big factor, this Roche fight. Who's going to be able to execute? Who has the vision advantage? Savage is a little way away from that next item. He's even going Sunj and Yasha as well. So it looks like the fact that there's no status resistance now on the Satanic, I think, is a big factor why it might not be going for that one.
No smokes left, though, for Motivate. So they're kind of having to posture around this high ground as Fnatic. They use theirs. So they're like, look, if we can't come to them, we'll just have to wait, positioning ourselves correctly, using the blur to the full effect, just to make sure they're popping it ASAP.
And connects. They know Motivator up on this high ground here. There's no information at the moment coming through. The lane's completely static. No one's showing.
Yeah, you can see the Raven pinging out the PA's missing. Like, that's what popped it, guys. They've got no other invis.
Death, they get the Dragon Tail. He does get the BKB off, and now with double stun. No, Boombell's gonna get caught as well. On top of the backline, they find the Nyx with the breaks. Now on top of the Phantom Assassin. He doesn't have a target to be able to jump through. Where's the rest of the team? Inside the river. They've caught out the Storm Spirit, but Moon just gets to zip away. Now with the haste as well, it's gonna try and disengage, but the real target is that Phantom Assassin. Raven's on top with the battle trance, and he brings him down. The MKB. The item to deal with the PA, and now 3 down on Motivate. Oh no, they're thinking about still coming over. Q and Fearless are here. I mean, at least he's got the Arcane. Level 20 talent as well, potentially. Now with the Void Spirit, so the reduced timing on that Astral Step if he wants to go through. But man, what a fight for Fnatic. You see Death, you kind of baited out with the bounty, and they got that 2-man Impale on the mag, slowed down the RP.
It's just the difference of having Death at the start of every single fight. You know, these previous ones, they've gone their way because those corrosive hazes start to stack up. And, well, that time around, he was the one that got gone on. You know, immediately burst down. Yes, you're able to get the kill onto a squishier hero onto the side in DJ, but when you've got the Shadow Demon still alive, they didn't quite have the crits or the minus armor to be able to immediately burst him 100 to 0.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And we see now Fnatic with this advantage. They've been able to claim both Roches in this game so far. So the Aegis is going to be on the Storm Spirit. He's down to 9 Bloodstone charges at the moment. And Motivator actually still hunting bot with Death and Fearless. Can they get that first life? But Jab's nice positioning from him. And actually, they're going to go mid though. Uh-oh. Lena's in trouble. MG.Trust pops the BKB, so the skewer's going to do naught. And now that just means the Lena's going to be a free little juicy kill for Fnatic.
Very nice. It's actually going into the MKB on the Lena. Looking to do some right-click damage as well.
I don't know how I like that versus the Storm. Feel like him in the... You got a Storm, such high catch potential. DK is going to jump you. The Nyx as well is going to be a bit of a nuisance.
I mean, just having no stats as well is the big thing for me. You know, you've got a lot of potential to just burst yourself down.
Storm, do you want to zip for this? Got their way to catch up, although they get the information on Fearless to simulate. He's got some ultimate charges. Doesn't get them right now, and now with the benchman sets up for the stun. He got way too greedy, not committing anything. Tried to min-max it out, waste as much time as possible, but I mean, he's down for 70 and he doesn't have a buyback enough. Fnatic like, alright, we got an opportunity. MG.Trust pops the ulti. Raven just going to work on top of the tower now, and well, Motivate, they're gonna have to do something without their Void Spirit.
It's going to be a tough one, though. Going to look to use the full version of this Elder Dragon form. It was only just popped, so MG.Trust is in a comfortable position. He's got
Tried to disrupt. MG.Trust able to pop the BKB, though. They get the drag back as well. RP's not there at the moment, but Savage instantly brings down the Dragon Knight. Max got a buyback to rejoin them. They've already used one of the purges. Raven's going to try and disengage, but Q's got the Yours, and now there's the buyback coming through, but they need to lock him in place. LSA is just a little bit too late. Do they want to commit, though, without the mag?
He hasn't BKB'd yet on Savage.
Get the bash, but they're not going to go outside the base here. Do they want to smoke, though? Void's going to be up in 20. That might be when they go. Yeah, smoke picked up from Boombell Radiant. They're still going to hold the triangle, though. They don't want to leave this side of the map just yet. Raven completed the Abyssal Blade. This could be big for the fight. They haven't been able to scout this one out just yet. Savage walking up. He's going to find DJ. Does he want to jump him instantly? He's got the Abyssal Blade. He's going to try and bring him down. Jabs as well. Can they cancel the TP? They don't have the vision. It's just another pickoff coming through. They find the support there. It's going to give them an opportunity to try and get these lanes shoved in. They're hunting Moo. Q.
Just out of range, even with the Aether Lens and the cast range talent for hitting off that Yule Scepter.
Been really close to getting punished there, but you see how important. I mean, I've constantly harp on information, and now we got a gem picked up from the mag. So just being able to D-ward, super nice against the Nyx Assassin as well. Just the constant scurrying that he's doing with this Vendetta. Now you've at least got a way to be able to kind of control your map and really enable you to be able to find that first jump.
Opting to go for the skewer cooldown as well at level 15. Hasn't put a point into his level 10 talent. I was thinking maybe considering his role as the front liner, the bait, if you will. Thought he might have gone for that little extra bit of strength, but just looking for the utility. Trusting the rest of his team that they're going to be able to back him up, and as he gets bigger, it's going to be a lot harder for the Fnatic boys to burst him down. They've got a smoke as well on Motivate, if they wanted to use it.
Death and gold are linked. Bounty, which
Well, if they got that Roche timer, they're going to know that well, at least the age is going to tick out here in the next 25 seconds, so they got to kind of deal with the lanes. Yeah.
Going to be able to spot out this Observer Ward as well. Oh, wait, who's got the... Is it Death?
Void Spirit's got it at the moment.
Okay. Well, they missed the one that's standing right in the middle of the lane, and that could spell disaster. They should have seen that Elder Dragon form get popped, so there's no need for them to go that deep.
Dip on the back. Let's see what Moon can catch.
Moon
Straight on
deep.
top of the slaughter, but now instantly on the side.
Dead.
Savage going to be able to find the Shadow Demon. Such an important target now with the chain locked in.
He is gone.
Just
Perfect.
The timing from Motivate. They're going to look to turn with the RP, controlling up the Dragon at Raven. He's going to try and man fight here, but he's going to be careful about his decisions. Yours up, controlling him. They get the LSA. He's still got the cheese. The battle chance to be able to utilize Pops. Yosman's going to try and look to turn, but the Yule Scepter completely kiting him. He doesn't have a way to be able to protect himself without the BKB. Now Motivate even popping the cheese here. Oh my god, what a fight.
Oh, perfect timing. Literally the second that it expires, and yeah, Fnatic just making that dive a little bit too deep, assuming that they're going to be able to get a pick off, but Savage knows who his #1 enemy is. It's this Shadow Demon, and every single time he tries to make a beeline right for him. This time, Jab's just slightly out of position, not having the Blink Dagger, and you can see he's gone into the Aeon Disc. He does not want to get picked off at the start of every single fight, because realistically, it feels like he lives, Fnatic win. He doesn't, it's Motivate.
Radiant
I mean, this is big here for Motivate. They just get the Aghanims completed on the Phantom Assassin. Death just hit that level 20 talent as well, so the 4 minus armor and the Corrosive Haze. So they are really going to start shredding through. And also PA, that triple stifling dagger as well. Potentially, definitely would have had it last fight actually, but just highlighting it now. It's going to be pretty important here for Motivators. They've been able to claim a 5,000 net worth lead now, and they've trying to control out the rest of the map. We even got some neutral items coming through. We'll see if we can get some new ones.
So the PA's got the Nullifier queued up next, which I like. I think it's totally fine. I think honestly this is a game where Rapier or the Shard. I think the Shard is totally fine here because you're going to be able to disable that fervor for 3 seconds if you are in a man mode situation. If you use it when you just before you go on the Dragon Knight, suddenly he's missing 12 armor. Storm Spirit, no overload, probably not as big of a deal, but I think especially that Dragon Knight is just going to enable that intense pick-off potential.
They're underneath vision here. Moon's going to try and jump the map, but now with the Abyssal Blade, Savage needs to get a couple of creeps coming through, maybe a bash as well. They need a retreat. They've got a Phantom Strike target. Looks like that's going to be all she wrote, although Savage never mind. He wants to go back in. He's going to find Mastros, pops the BKB. Dragon Tail sets up for the medium hammer. They're going to try and disrupt this, but they haven't found the Shadow Team. Instantly, Fear's going to try and do the job that Phantom Assassin needs to rely on. They break him down. Double the RP
nice
as well,
RP.
controlling up 2 sets up for Laguna Blade. Mastros is falling incredibly low. They're going to be careful. A buyback's coming through from both teams. Fear is getting control, but the Scepter is going to allow him to disengage. Moon's going to try and catch him with the BKB, but it's not enough protection. Void's down, doesn't have a buyback. Can they reset the fight though? Oh, Boom Bell, that's greedy. He wanted the gem. It's going to get punished. Motivate, they lose 2. It's the price of that engagement there. So a 2 for 3 Slardar buys back. So does the Shadow Demon. Roche is up in 10 seconds as well.
Oh, the unfortunate timing for Motivate. They haven't realized just yet. No courier sitting inside the pit, but that's where Jabs is going right now with his. He's just going to sit it right on in there, make sure he gets instantly revealed, and it's going to be in the perfect timing. Any cool tier 4 neutrals coming out here?
One, the Stormcrafter on the Slardar. We might not get too much of an opportunity to scout this out though, as Radiant, they're trying to walk through the triangle. Dire posturing by that tier 1 tower, still down bot. Let's see if Savage, he's got a ward. If they run down to the low ground, they might be able to instantly assassinate Jabs. Maybe Moon's a better target, but the LSA from downtown. Savage, he wants to defend, but over the Abyssal Blade. Oh no, he's in trouble. The 2 mates on as well. Can they get the protection? No, they're fighting. He doesn't have a buyback, and now Death's in trouble as well. Moon's going to go to work now with a troll as well. Raven's able to close the distance to bash from afar. Death, he'll pay the price here. He's got that Stormcraft. Going to try and utilize it. He might be able to get out as well. Mastros has got the counter though, but Storm Spirit though will still end up falling. So at least the Lina punishes 1, but they lose all 5 from Motivate. And their base, mid shoved in here. I mean, you got to buy back on Lina. Void's going to be up in a couple seconds, but the issue is that the Troll's still alive.
Dire's structures are
Yeah, Troll's still... Oh, okay, I guess the tier 1's getting attacked. It's going to get refreshed, but... Yeah, Boombell, he's been able to clean it up, make sure the base isn't too much of a concern. Fearless is going to be able to push that one out as well in the mid lane. He's approaching his level 25, and just buys up the tome as well. So Dissimulate now stunning for 2.5 seconds. It feels like their lockdown is starting to become a really big factor for Fnatic as the BKB timers start to slowly tick down.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They need to be careful about their waves though, as Raven tries to get to that Abyssal Blade, but the Lincoln's going to pop it. So mid and top are shoved in. Bots, creeps are coming in pretty soon. But it looks like they're going to back off here. So they will not be able to get any objectives claimed after that. But they are well aware that Roshan is available.
And DD. DJ was there.
No.
That's a Skadi finished as well.
Dire's bottom tower is
Pretty
under attack.
tanky boy on Raven.
He's also got the Battle Trance Strong Dispel as well. So this is going to be so important. You know, the Shadow Demon is that defensive factor, but we've seen the target prioritization coming through from Motivate. The Void, the PA, making a difficult game for Shadow Demon to be able to play it. But now that Raven, even if Shadow Demon's not there for the defensive factor, he can still pop that Battle Trance, and he's going to be A-OK. And now they've got the Aegis now picked up on Moon. Was there a refresher shard? There was. So Shadow Demon's got that one. He's got the shard as well. Okay.
That'll be pretty deadly. And he's even got the Illusionist cape as well on jabs, so he knows how much of a priority he is for this PA, so hoping to bait out the early jump-ins by him. Maybe even the BKB, that would be huge if he's able to get that out of 23 Savage's arsenal.
How much is the heal, I'm thinking, with the Demonic Purge?
I haven't seen it yet, so I cannot say.
And it doesn't say in the Demonic Purge as well. Like, that's the annoying thing. I mean, at least, you know, it doesn't say how long it's going to last.
Healing for its damage value, so I'm assuming 500.
I missed.
At the very bottom.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no, there you go. Well, the big factor is as well, you got to keep in mind that Dispel. I mean, it's just going to be so annoying. Yeah,
it's
I mean,
really good.
The Slaughter Corrosive Haze is really not going to be an impact if you use it defensively on someone like the Troll or, you know, really anyone you want to here. So, you know, the silences as well from Fearless to keep in mind. But, oh, Savage, he's got his own shard as well. The Aghanims and also the extra Fan of Knives.
My man. I want to see him use that onto the DK. Try and burst him down before he can use this cheese.
Motivate. They're coming out. They got some information. Let's see if they get the target. Oh my god, this one carries for DG! No! The trouble, but
the boom bell!
The RP, but where's the Phantom Assassin? Savage is in there at the moment. They're gonna bring down the points. With the first five, it's fallen as well. Savage straight on top of the back line, gets Abyssal Blade out. The Phantom Knives as well, trying to deal with the Shadow Team, but he doesn't have the damage. A bash, Moon, C-Pop 4, but they got the Abyssal Blade. Now the Phantom Assassin refresh coming through. He's gonna end up falling on buyback. Motivate, they're in trouble here. Phil's gonna dip away. He bought back for this, and he's in trouble. Motivate, their tournament lives now in pressure here as the bash. 3 down, make it 4. As Fnatic might have just eliminated there, and then Boom Bell, the sole survivor, but that might be it as Radiant, they didn't lose anyone, just the ages.
Oh, what a great RP turnaround by Boombell. He needs to drop the Philosopher's Stone right now. He's only 50 gold away from buyback on this PA. If he gets the passive gold extra, they might be able to make this turnaround before the Aegis goes down.
Radiant structures are fortified.
They need to do something. He drops the Philosopher, sorry, drops, there we go.
There it is. He's picking it up.
Let's see if it's enough. They need a hold. They don't have Glyph. Lean is available, Boombell as well, but the buildings, they're just getting shredded. Stuns up on Mag, and that might be it. Fnatic, they sweep it 2-0. That's going to be all she wrote. Mastros taking down his old team. Savage unable to get a little bit of revenge as well as Fnatic. They're going to move on in the lower bracket.
And you can see from the gold border, the PA has just got a buyback, just as the throne descends into the ground. So it's little plays like that. Even at the previous fight where PA went down, I think she was only about 200 gold away from buyback then. If she wanted to use it, try and come back, that could have potentially been the Roche fight going for them as well. And then again, it's completely different. You know, they can start to make the push forward. You can force buybacks away from Fnatic. It was a roller coaster game all throughout, though. You know, just win probability. Dota Plus could not decide who was going to win for the majority of the time, but it was just way too much for them to handle. As soon as that Aghanim Scepter on the Shadow Demon came out, it was some good baits as well with the Illusionist cape, making sure that he was able to avoid the brunt of the damage.
No doubt. I mean, such a incredible performance here from Fnatic, and I'm just happy we at least got to see a couple of the shards as well. You know, towards the end, unfortunately, we're gonna have to say goodbye to Motivate, but you know, what a strong performance here. You see just, you know, a couple of these fights, how they're able to turn when they get those, you know, incredibly important targets, that Abyssal Blade from Raven, just, you know, locking them in, the counter initiations, and a back and forth game. But man, I wanted a game 3 just for the storylines and for, you know, more Dota that we can get with this patch. But you know, we're gonna have to wait till that next series, which is gonna be a pretty, you know, one to at least a good one to be able to watch as well. We got T1 taking on Execration here in our second lower bracket match of the night, guys, so you don't want to miss it. More 7.28 Dota action coming up in just a second.